What's up guys, it's the Devil's Talon here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at one of the best all-time Fortnite players, and that is NRG BenjyFishy. We're going to be taking a look at the first game from his most recent solo Cash Cup, en route to a high kill win and an overall top 10 performance in the most recent solo Cash Cup. But before I get into this VOD review guys, if you're new and do enjoy my content, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, as you can see on the screen, we have Mr. BenjyFishy's POV. He's landing Stark Industries for the first game, W King. Lots of kills, lots of engagements, lots of stuff to go over. Let's just jump right in.
Nice, that's nice. Nice, guys.
So gets a nice, easy kill off spawn, gets a purple pump. Easy start off to his Cash Cup with a gifted purple pump.
Oh no, oh that's not good.
That's not good, some unfortunate shots. Now we're going to talk about still using crash pads. This is just really unlucky that when he uses this exploit, that he goes through this little hole there. Unfortunate, but you're going to see a little bit better aim right here. Get some cracks. And then good awareness of his back and knowing where his opponents are. And so he ends up chasing this opponent, and looks like his opponent is shambles, no mats, no health, and he tries to shock out of there, but can't. Now, boogie bombs are no longer a thing in competitive, so just keep that in mind for this next portion. He throws this, gets the boogie bomb, and we all know what happens when you get boogie bomb in competitive. You get boxed like fish, and then you get 200 pumped. So that's why they removed it from competitive, so pay no mind to that. Good full box, good recognition. His opponent's going to end it down, and watch this. Look at this angle, this right-hand peek with that cone slide. It ends that fight fast, and it keeps him protected with that nice back angle. Notice how he was barely hittable, and he has a right-hand peek, so just huge advantage. Now, when you're watching him, W King, that's a crash pad bouncer. You can use bouncers with pretty much all movement items. Cone slide crack, another hit. Gets that preemptive piece control and then edits on so fast the guy has no idea. But you're going to see he uses a ton of mobility in all sorts of way, shape, and form. And this is something you're going to have to master to not only rotate, but to W key more efficiently and end fights faster and get into more engagements. Using crash pads and then another crash pad, X-point mastering it into a one pump. The other guy makes an excellent read on Benji coming out. I love the decision here to kind of go for a shot and slows his opponent's aggressiveness down. He then boxes and then decides to not go for the big. I like him going for the chug splashes here in case he gets pushed, so he can get as much health off as possible fast, but his opponent does not push, so he's able to get it all off, which is really good for him. But notice how he took some time to get some pressure. A good attempt right there at piece control, and then in movement items, boom, another 23. Notice the crosshair placement, tries to pre-fire, doesn't get it, edits through with the blueprints. His opponent edits out. Always protecting his top, and then humongous crack, really great aim, and again, using movement to get into fights. And then he breaks his opponent ramps, cones, and his opponent has nothing he can do, and he gets more and more crash pads, more movement to continue on his W King spree. And thankfully, he drops the boogie bombs. Now you're about to witness the worst engagement from his Cash Cup, where he should have ended this fight a lot faster. Gets a huge crack. Good attempt at piece control. I love this hit right here though. Shoots through, gets through, and cones off the bouncer so his opponent can't escape, but his opponent does go up. Now something with the Stark rifle is that it's not the best at continuing to apply pressure because of its low fire rate, and you're going to see it in this fight being one of the main reasons why he doesn't finish this fight. Gets right here, misses the pump. And then is not able to finish that kill because, again, hip fire from the Stark, slow, not very, very good. But the Stark rifle is kind of like the AK, in my opinion, a little bit from Season 7, where it's just high damage, high tap fire, really good accuracy. And then notice he's using these crash pads to exploit in and not waste time, like breaking through and chopping. There's a bunch of old builds, and this is a real awkward area to fight in. Double swing, fortunate right there that his opponent doesn't add out on him. Double swing can't get you in trouble. I love that angle right here. And the other person has arcane bomb. It's not going to hurt. Gets that back wall. As an opponent was sitting there waiting. Too much of a wide edit. Just rushed it a little bit. And that's what ends up happening right there. is made the 4 wide edit and then missed the shot, and that's kind of what ends up happening. And then we go to a rotation. Now we're gonna see kind of the best sequence of Benjy's gameplay from this first. Boom, huge pre-fight damage, and then immediately, boom, using the mobility to make sure that his opponent doesn't have time to heal, and does the exact same thing. Crash pads right in, boom, beautiful, 220. And then this is just beautiful right here. We're gonna take a look. A Mongol classic. Good movement right here to just absolutely dominates these two opponents. We're just gonna take a look at this stuff in slow motion because I kind of want to just talk about the tenets of solos, the tenets of what to do in these situations, because Benjy uses great mechanics. So huge pre-fight damage, so 100 pre-fight damage, and then immediate boom, I'm crash padding over. I'm getting to you, I'm not allowing you to heal, which is something that's going to be really good, obviously, because you want this fight to be over with. So knows where his opponent is, and then he uses the best, one of the better crash point exploits, which is kind of the diagonal exploit, and then gets in, gets more mats, whatever, gets this wall off. Mongol Classics gets a little 33 tag. But notice, look at the movement. That duck right there is so huge. Once he gets that cone, he immediately ducks down so he doesn't get fat pumped. And boom, ends the fight super fast with good piece control. Again, more cracks and then more and more pressure using the mobility. Now he's got shocks as well as bouncers. Good ramp flip and catches his opponent off, and more bouncers. And then again, maximizing using the bouncer with whatever movement item. Now, one thing that I'm going to talk about that gets him a little bit in trouble here is he is king. Oh, nice headshot, nice smash. One thing that gets him in trouble is he's sometimes a little bit too open. So he gets fried a little bit out of the air. He's kind of just playing a little too open, and so he gets kind of surfer focused because he's just up high, build fighting out in the open.
That's the kid. Oh my god, wait.
And so that's the kid he was previously fighting at Dooms. Huge crack.
How's that fight free white? Somebody explain that?
He could have also finished that fight, or he could have gone for piece control right there. But he ends up dying. Misses some snipe, and then unfortunately takes some damage. But notice how he's just, the whole server is just focusing attention on him. Taking a little bit of bloom battles, getting a crack. Oh my goodness, a little almost attempt at a quintuple edit. You're just seeing him get lobby focused a lot, get third partied a lot, just playing a tad in his over aggressiveness, not protecting himself. And you're gonna see him, this is what I always talk when I VOD review BenjyFishy. His mistakes are almost corrected instantaneously. Like, he knows he's cracking so much damage on this kid, but you're gonna see him, he keeps getting third partied. Fortunately, right there to get that opponent just kind of run at him. He's got no extra shield. He hears opponents fighting over here. And then I love this. Shoot through the wood. Immediately take the wall. Shoot through. Cone slide. Boom. Nothing that opponent can really do. And then he got extra heals. He got minis. And he got Silver Surfer. So extremely worth. Now notice here. Notice how he puts off walls this time, which he hadn't been doing before. It just immediately corrects his mistakes. And then unfortunately, Crash Pad Bouncer doesn't really work. And then really good Kovacs right there. He goes up. You're going to get W keyed. And then just a little bit misuse right there. A little misplay, unfortunately. He does it correctly there. He didn't have the ramp flip towards where he wanted to Crash Pad. But notice he even bouncer. He just, any type of movement item you could just basically increase with the bouncer. And so he does that with a Silver Surfer. But movement items are the biggest thing I want to take away. He abuses the living hell out of them, and it just allows him to get high kills, W key. So he gets up on this high ground. He sees these two guys fighting kind of towards edge zone. This guy bouncers like 6 inches, and then he gets an easy little tag. And now he wants to go back off and W key this kid that he was originally fighting. So he Silver Surfers all the way over to the other side. Gets a little bit of beam, all for a 24 crack. Good decision to move out one. Gets his mini off. Good little tag with some hip fire from the Stark rifle. Calms that his opponent's going to Silver Surfer. His opponent hits a really nice shot, not going to lie. I like, again, extending one more box so he can make sure he gets his heels off. Beautiful cone. I love that angle. Notice how it's a right Pete angle. And then the back wall right here so he can't get out. And the other guy tries to build a wall but can't. And it's a GG's. And then he just continues to Silver Surfer, which is... And this is scary right here. Oh. Because that opponent was actually dead and had already been killed, but you couldn't tell because Fortnite is still having that issue for some reason. And then he gets sniped in the 1v1, which is pretty wild, pretty wild. Gets his heels off it. This ends up actually being a very scary 50-50 type situation. Notice how he edits down and starts going back into a right-hand peek. Good attempt right there. Doesn't get it. Bouncers gets a huge crack, but then they get into a box.
Oh my god.
And then so right there, as you can see, what ends up happening is he gets right in the box, Bouncers. But a movement kill for the last one. I'm not at all surprised. Benji in this entire video, this entire first game, uses movement to... He uses crash pads to exploit. He uses bouncers and crash pads to move. He uses just straight up crash pads to move. He uses shocker. He uses Silver Surfer. It's whatever movement he has to push his opponents to W key and end fights fast. That's exactly what he does. And you need to be doing this as well. You've got to be abusing these movement items. They're so, especially the crash pads. The crash pads are so versatile. They can get you to your opponent fast. They can exploit you. They can get opponents hiding out of bushes. They can break builds. There's just, the crash pads are so versatile, and the bouncers are just great for accentuating your movement items, getting further, yeeting, especially like in late game, which you're not going to see in this first game of the Cash Cup. But say, you know, you need to rotate max distance on first moving. It's great to place your bouncer and then shockwave and then yeet across the map because it will get you there that far, which is really, really good. A lot of the movement stuff. So this is, I think, a really fun meta. It's really enjoyable with a pump and all this movement item. Watching all these W key games, it's just that there's so much pressure. It's so high paced, high action, and that's what I personally love about Fortnite. But as a player, as a solo player, you need to be focusing on mastering these movement items, mastering these crash pad exploits, which again was a big part of last season with a charge, just dropping into boxes and charging up and using your tack and tacking up. But this season, it's no different. Still using those big exploits to get in boxes and end fights. And that's what you're going to see. So master the movement items. Master them. They're going to help your gameplay, especially with your W keying in these first and second games of the Cash Cup where your lobbies are the worst. And you're going to be able to get your higher point games. And then you can play placement towards later end. And using those mobility items instead of for W keying, use it for actually movement and rotation in zones. But guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. In the next video, we're going to be taking a look at Wavy Jacob's dominant gameplay on West and route to a first place performance in the NA West Solo Cash Cup. I hope I'll see you there for that one, and peace.